leads them to invite you for a project. So these are all uncertainty, you never know, but at the same time I think you should be open to the opportunity, right? So of course there's never a certainty that you will get something concrete out of this. But I think my general idea would be just to pursue multiple strategies and be open to experience and be open to opportunities that kind of, there is no linear path towards success. You're doing different things, maybe a little bit diffused in different ways, and sometimes you have this garbage can model, you could say, right, of career pursuit. And sometimes as things align and opportunities arise, and to some extent you can never know what opportunities will come. Yeah, so I know I'm kind of already talked too much, so let's see if I can speed it up a little bit. Yeah, so collaborate with leading scholars. How can you kind of do that? Well, like I said with my example of Bart de Jong, you can ask them for advice or a friendly review maybe of your paper. One thing could be that you could become active either at the academy or maybe at your local university in organizing seminars. So I do that also within my university at the department. And so one of the nice things is that you get to have be involved in who you invite to come over. And so you have a chance to get to know those people, and also a chance to build relationships, and potentially you could do that actually strategically if you were keen to work together with somebody. Then you could invite him, and through that maybe who knows what type of opportunities arise. And then the question is, of course, always if you have these leading scholars, they get asked a lot probably for all kinds of projects. So they have to say more, they have to say no a lot. They have to be kind of calculated because they can only do so many projects. So that's kind of the potential barrier. But then I think what you could offer, or what you have to offer as a PhD student or just a tenure tracking scholar, is, well, an interesting idea, right? Interesting, novel idea, and then hopefully, or oftentimes, you have data from your PhD studies. You have, especially when you're a PhD student, a lot of time. That is a valuable resource for people who are really busy. So that's a resource you can bring in. And then, you might already have a first draft from your dissertation for them to have a look at and see whether it's viable, whether there's an interesting story there. So I do think that you have a lot to offer to these people, to convince them to work together with you. And then the other thing I would mention is work together with different scholars. So, of course, leading or not scholars, but also different scholars. And primarily because you, like I said, just starting out as a fresh, new scholar in the field, you lack reputation to some extent. And so, to some extent, you can build reputation by affiliation, right? So through other people. So I can imagine that, for instance, I worked together with Bart de Jong, and I was thinking about coming over here and working with Nicole, and well, you can ask that better than me. Probably it helped that you knew that I was working together with Bart de Jong, right? So, that's something that's indirect reputation effects. And by working together with different people, you get access to different social networks, right? So, Kurt has a different network from Nicole, and so you can kind of take advantage of that if you work together with different people. I think I had a point or two profile. Yeah. Okay, so I can imagine that Matt has some specific ideas about this, because basically what I have done so far is to be really focused, so focus on a particular area, and trying to create a coherent, stream of publications on that. And so we can have discussions later on about whether that's, whether that advances the field in the way we want to. But maybe I think this is the way it is, not necessarily how it should be. So if you want to establish yourself as a young scholar, what I found helpful is to be focused because it helps you create a profile. And to have a set of papers on a similar topic. And now I've been a little bit more strategic about it, and I thought, I will draw up this framework, and this framework will be my portfolio of research. So this is what I kind of came up with. So I have these substantive topics. So I do research on trust and control, so that's the most substantive topic. I have teams, so that's basically my, potentially unit of analysis or context. And then I'm more generally interested in methodology, like research design issues. So I have these things, and then I somehow want to combine them by collecting either primary or secondary data on those topics. So basically, you have this matrix of 4, cells, and basically my idea for now and into the next few years is to fill the empty cells. Right. So up until now, I've kind of did this, primary studies in this area, and what I'm trying to do now is to do more research with secondary data. And with secondary data, I, for instance, mean doing a meta-analysis, for instance. I'm now so basically doing more research at the field level. So I'm summarizing the field, or one of the things I'm doing now is I'm content analyzing the direction of future research of recent papers in my area to come up with like a joint research agenda for future research. And I think that's one way to make an impact on the field, if you do more field level research. So doing reviews or meta-analysis or those types of things can help you, I think, especially early in your career, to make an impact and to increase visibility and all of those things. I guess I'm at the end of my time and my presentation. So thanks for that. Yeah, it's an ideal opportunity. Yeah.
Especially in the narrow area, narrow analysis.
Yeah, and you see that in a lot of areas, especially, I know that from team research, but especially, in a lot of areas there has been like a critical mass of studies. Right? And that critical mass, there's really added value in summarizing that, and then as a PhD student, you always do, or often do, a literature review. So you're doing it already, you're already going through all the studies, and then taking advantage of that by either doing a narrative review or maybe even a meta-analysis, which typically publishes well, and gets you, I did research on that, and it gets you cited 3 times more than a primary study. So there's actually added value in doing that. There is a learning curve, of course, doing meta-analysis. But I think there is, if you talk about investment and payoff, there is something there.
One of the things that challenged me very strongly when Bart was talking was about the focus. And perhaps, I can look objectively at how I sort of view Bart and how he's been able to establish, a very quick profile in the area. And a lot of it comes from Bart's got a very in-depth knowledge of the research and keeps very much on top of that. And one of the challenges, I think, particularly as we become more established in our career, often we start broadening out. And that can be a challenge to stay at the forefront, particularly if in an area which is moving very quickly. How do you stay at the forefront of that if you're starting to go too broad? And I think that focus is always essential for all of the other things like the reviewing and being invited on board, being able to do the quality contributions and all those areas. It's difficult if you're not on top of the research field. So,
and that's actually also an advantage that you can bring when you work collaborating with established scholars or with more experienced scholars. You have the focus, you have the cutting, the cutting edge.